We are back with another exciting episode of the Tang clan. And they did so well on the Reyes Cup preview, I decided to have them back. So hello to my crack staff here, Diana McNaughton and Jeff Martin. Thank you guys for coming back, man. You guys did such a good job on the preview. We had no choice but to run it back for the wrap up. So thank you guys once again for being here. What can we say about the Reyes Cup, man? I think we all predicted it one way, and the way it turns out, it's like, man, we're on these shows as panels of experts, and it just proves we don't know shit.
Well, you can't predict when a whole group of 5 players just is going to take a week off from playing pool. I mean,
and that's exactly what it looked like. We were just talking beforehand, and we talking about the Molina Mike show and how Darren Appleton was on, and then Johan was on, and just everybody was overcritical. And these are guys that obviously Johan has a history of coaching a lot of these guys. And same with Darren Appleton. Darren Appleton was a player. Obviously he's very good friends with Jason Shaw, Carl Boys, guys like that are in the mix. And they were just, where's the heart? Where everybody's hugging and high-fiving afterwards. Where's the heart, man? You guys want to win, or you got your money already locked up? So it's just like,
They got their money locked up and partied for 4 nights in Manila. That's what it looked like. It looked like me hungover at a $20 Saturday morning pool tournament I shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think when it gets down to like the country stuff, obviously you see Asia and they're very rah. This is big for them. But I don't know. Jason and Sky have done this so many times. It's like, what do you got to get keyed up for? Who gives a shit now? Just give me my check. We'll play a little pool, and then I'll be on my way.
Yeah, I mean, there was no emotion at all from the entire week from Shaw until today. I mean, you could hear him yelling from the crowd a little bit today.
Right.
Before that, we had 3 days of nothing.
Yeah, I think FSR only literally just showed up for his last rack. That was basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see any of him. He was just kind of nonchalant the whole time.
It's like those guys were in they knew it was going to end today. So it was fuck it stroke, and some of it worked out for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think and we'll get started, and we'll just scan through the days here. But I guess I can include this in. So we'll start. Obviously, we'll start with day one. I think we all predicted 3-1. Did you predict 3-1 also, Diana, for rest of the world, or 2-2?
I didn't make a day prediction. End of event prediction, which was 8-11 for rest of world. I was trying to be optimistic, but that got going hard.
Yeah, it started off, the team match, bang, 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 5-1. I think the big thing we can take away from that first team match was that 8 ball that FSR missed. I think, to me, I mean, that set the tone for everything that was going to come. I think at that point, he was in his head and everybody else was in his head at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he also missed the 6 ball. Was that in the team match or the first match?
I think that was his team match, or
I don't remember which match. It was one of them, but he just missed that dead easy 6 ball.
Who hit the golden? AJ Manis hit the golden break in the
AJ Manis hit the golden break,
and he was up against Sky in that match.
Feder? No, he ran out on Feder.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, it was a lot of pool.
At that point, it was a blur anyway. Yeah, I what I clearly remember though from the first day was FSR missing that 8 ball, and when you're missing the 2 money balls, I mean you're in trouble. And
and Shaw also missed a ball into the side pocket as well.
Yeah, this table is playing brutal.
I think they might have gone a little far with the side pocket tightness.
Yeah,
because Asia missed a couple balls into the side as well.
it looked like it changed a little bit once it got some chalk in it, and it looked like it had changed a little bit. But man, it was brutal table shit.
Even the corners are quite tight because you could see them rattling them a few times.
Yeah.
Even on the last day, AJ rattled that 3, I think it was, and it just stayed there.
Yeah, and most of the time, I don't know if you what cloth you guys are used to playing on, but most of the time, brand new Simonis cloth. You look like a 900 Fargo player. The balls are flying in, and for them to rattle that many balls the first day on brand new cloth, wow, it's definitely playing tight.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I watched that Texas Open at Skinny Bob's a couple weeks ago, and it was some of the best pool I ever seen, and the tables were standard pockets, 4.5.
Yeah.
I understand the need. You want to change things up a small bit, and these guys are the best players in the world. You want to see it, but I hate when they alter the table. It's
anything under 4 1/8 is just insane.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have any table under 4 1/8 under a 4 1/8 inch pocket. Period. 4 1/4 is perfectly acceptable, really.
Yeah, we're not going to go and just we want more hits in football, so we're gonna make the field 20 yards smaller. We're not going to do that shit. So it's I hate when they alter something that's been around for like 500 years. So yeah, it was a little tough for me. But anyway, team match 5-1 goes to Asia. Next up, we got doubles. AJ Manis, Aloysius Yap against Jason Shaw and FSR. Two guys who have played together a lot, and they take a beating.
Just brutal.
First singles match, Carlo Beato against Diana's friend there, Moritz Neuhausen. It seems like rest of the world was progressing a little bit more on the first day. It's they won 1 match, then 2, then 3, then 4. But they're still losing at the end of the day. So Carlo Beato takes down Moritz, and then the last match of the day is a doubles. We got Johan Chua and DQH Dong Kwok Hong versus Fader and Sky, another doubles partner. Who's played together quite a bit, and they lose Hill. So at this point, we're ending the day 4-0. Not completely impossible to come back from, but I think at this point it's like you're in a massive hole.
That was already deflating quite quick.
Yeah,
deflating like quickly. You could see it in their faces, like, oh, okay, don't look at the crowd. Don't look at the crowd. We can do this. We can still do it. Don't look at the crowd. The 10 people that were there.
One thing I kept bringing up that I was getting a lot of shit for in responses wise was I was very critical of Jeremy Jones. You seen him out there for the team match. He's sitting on the end of the bench, making little comments and all that. But when it came to doubles and singles, where was he? We seen Bustamante getting involved.
I had the coaching thing completely backwards. I thought it was going to be the opposite way. With
likewise. Like
JJ had been there, he's done this. He should be the one that's getting right there with all the guys. But
yeah,
Boosty, man, those guys loved him, respected him, and took everything he said to heart. And it's like they wanted to win for him almost. I mean, at least the Filipinos.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. Like that was everything backwards from like a 180 from what we all predicted. We only saw JJ out there for the teams, and the one time that we saw some other coaching was better coaching Sky. And I mean, I didn't mind it, but Carl sure did not like it.
Scott didn't either.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm so critical of the matchroom people, and I always feel like they shill for each other, but it was like they were very critical of of some of the things that the rest of the world team was doing, and it's refreshing to see because I mean it gives a point counterpoint to it, but let's call these guys out, man. That's what you guys are here for.
That's right.
Don't keep sucking the teat.
You would think that Carl, being previously on Team Europe, that he would cheer for Team Europe, but in his tone and what he was saying, he was definitely cheering for Team Asia. Not that it's like that's a bad thing or anything, but you would think that a team that he was previously on, he would cheer for that team. But it sounds like it was just a dig there and a poke there, and it's like he didn't even want them there.
Yeah. We have a comment in the chat, and Brian brought up during Mosconi, you see JJ walking out there every match.
Mm-hmm.
And, you just didn't feel like doing it this time, or you changing things up? And
maybe his chair was so far away from the arena that he just couldn't get out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's jeez.
It's, I don't know, man. It's, they laud him as this master coach and this master communicator, and just hasn't put it together. We coming off back-to-back wins with him as Johan's assistant, and they handed him the keys of the castle because Johan wanted to pick his own players, so to speak, and they didn't like that because that's not the Matchroom way. That's not the Emfraz way, and JJ the yes man must have stepped in and took the gig, and he hasn't produced anything. To me, and I'll ask you guys the same question: is that more of a reason why they went to the player coach for the Mosconi Cup last year and now this year?
I think so.
Probably.
I think it's a big part of it. But also, I think it's a part of it, and I think it's that way there's no other coaching factor in on the player selections, so that Matchroom can just do it every way they want.
Yeah, they're paying these guys to play and to coach, so it's not like they don't have the money for a coach.
Right. But I think it goes back to Earl. I really do. You'll never convince me that JJ picked Earl 2 years in a row. Never convince me.
Yeah, I think we all knew that was probably like an SVB urging.
I don't even know if it was SVB. I think it was Emily. I think she knew that he was a big draw for viewers because people still like to watch Earl. And you can't tell me that in 22, was it 22? Yeah, 22, that JJ picked Earl and wanted him. And then the next year they switched away from JJ as the coach. No, they had one more year with JJ. Sorry. One more year.
I think team rest of the world probably would have done a lot better if we had Shane as a coach or as a
You could just put Billy as the coach.
It probably would have been a little better. I mean, I actually heard JJ more on commentary than I saw him on screen with his team.
Yeah. One of the things I took away from, we interviewed Sky earlier in the year, and I asked them a bunch of Mosconi Cup questions, and I asked them, hey, you're under Johan, you're under JJ. Is there anything you took away from their coaching styles? And he's like, no, I don't really have a coaching style. It's just pairing up guys. Some guys don't want to play the first day. Some guys want to play together. It's, I don't know. It kind of bums me out not seeing a coach like that, because I know the effort that Johan and guys like Alex Lely or Marcus Chamat put into coaching these teams, and they're having these guys at retreats, or even Ralph Eckert. They're bringing these guys to pool halls or retreats, and they're going over stuff. And I think that's what it takes. If you really want to win, I think that's what it takes. And if they're not doing that, then it just answers the question that you guys don't want to win, that you're just happy getting a check. I'm getting paid either way. I'll play a little pool. I'll make a couple remarks, and I'll see you later. And it sucks.
Yeah, no. Speaking of that, so in London 2 years ago, I was at Spots and Stripes hitting a few balls, just messing around, having a pint, enjoying myself. SVB walks in. This was on Tuesday night, the day before the start of the tournament. Only U.S. player there, no coach, nobody else, just SVB. Just walks upstairs and hits balls by himself for who knows how long.
Yeah.
I mean, where would everybody, you'd think everybody else would,
Yeah, like let's get involved. Let's do this together as a team.
Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah. They can make it fun of Sky. They go golfing, playing PlayStation, and all that. It's they play pool so much. It's like they know how to play pool, but let's up it a little bit. There's a lot of meaning in this. It's us versus them. Don't you have that country pride?
Which there's the thing that's missing in this. There is no country pride for rest of the world versus Team Asia.
Right.
There is nothing for these guys to get up for, really. I mean, sure, your self-respect or whatever, but there are just times you just don't feel like playing pool.
Yeah. And that's another point made in the chat. It's zero effort from the non-Asian players. The Asian players have that sense of pride.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot for them. They were denied this type of exposure for so many years, and they finally got it. And I don't think they want to give it back.
Nope.
And good for them. It should be like that. Let's get back to just covering the days. Day 2, they had 5 matches scheduled. Obviously they started the day 4-0 in favor of the Team Asia. Team Asia goes on to win 5-0 in the team match. And then next we have probably the most controversial match of the whole week, which was AJ Manis, the 18-year-old, 66th ranked teenage prodigy. I guess you can say. Is he even a prodigy at 66 ranking? But regardless, he takes on the number 1 player in the world for not only this year but last year, and who knows how long in the future, Fedor Gorst. They get to Hill, and we get that shirt foul. They call it shirt foul on Fedor Gorst, and this is where, me personally, I was like, okay, the fix is in. This is horse shit. Every replay, every ball that rattles in, they show it from 10 different angles. Shirt foul comes. Shirt foul. 2 seconds, he leans over for 2 seconds. They call it shirt foul. There's not one replay of it. I mean, what about you guys? What did you take away from this shirt foul? Do you believe it was an actual shirt foul?
Yeah, absolutely. And they came back and they eventually did show a couple replays of it. No real great angles on it, but with how he was leaned over, he touched it.
Diana, do you think that's something in that moment of that stage, Hill? Is that something you can really call, or is it ticky tack at that point?
I saw it from a different angle, like the day after, from a Facebook angle from another somebody's like cell phone. He did touch it, but if we're gonna start going tit for tat like that, then the rules should apply to everybody. If we're going to do something like that, if they're not going to apply to everybody, then you may as well. What's the point? If we're going to start going like that, I know it's an expedition match, but we're also here to we're having fun watching it. But if you're going to start it put a foul taste in everybody's mouth on the first day, and we were trying to hope that this one was going to be different than Team Europe versus Team Asia. But as soon as that shot was called, we all knew that Team Asia was going to win, because that's who Matchroom wants to win.
That was the checkout point for me. I was like, okay, man, the fix is in. Looked like, every bit of momentum, because I mean, it was a Fedor stacked day.
Yeah.
He's in the singles. He's going up. He's with Jason Shaw. After that, as much as they can use him that day, they had planned on using him. And I think at that point where it was like, man, this is a wrap. Any little corner that they can find, to give Team Asia the advantage, I think they were doing. And I'm pretty sure every fan of Team Asia will debate me tooth and nail on that. But I don't know. It's just how I feel about it. But I'll tell you who ain't getting called for a shirt foul, and that's Jason Shaw. Looking pretty beefy there.
Man, I thought he had gone on I can't talk. I'm not one to talk, but I thought he had gone on a diet and was working on losing weight and everything else. I guess he decided not to continue doing that.
Yeah, it's got to be tough when you got a couple kids and you're always on the go and traveling and all that. I get it. I'm no fucking athlete myself anymore, but it's looking pretty beefy. At least get a bigger shirt or something like that, man. But
call up Koch. You get a shirt from him.
Yeah, we know there's some triple X going on there. So 5-4. AJ Manis, he that was a foul on what was he shooting at, the 6 or the 7?
He was shooting at the 6 ball because he touched the 7.
Yeah, so AJ Manis takes the win in that. They're up 6-0 at that point. And then AJ Manis back again with Johan Chua against Jason Shaw and Fedor Gorst, and it's another ass whooping for Team Asia. 7-0 at this point, and what was scheduled as 5 matches that day. Matchroom's like, we need this to go 4 days. This is about to be over with the first match on day 3. So they pulled the plug on 2 matches, and I'll ask you guys this. We heard information about the ticket prices. Like not a lot of people were going because the ticket prices were out of reach for the average Filipino and all that. If you're a hardworking Filipino man, you're in the area, you love pool, you save up your money because the Reyes Cup is coming back, and you spend a lot of money on these tickets, and you're expecting 4 or 5 matches, and you get 3. I don't know. Do you feel a little pissed at that point?
I can answer this from experience. Yes.
and that's what I was getting to. I knew you could, because it sucks. I don't know. You expect a full day of pool, not a couple minutes, because there's a blowout.
And I get why they have to do it, but at the same time, they should look back at the last 4 of these events they've ran, or 5 or 6 or however many it's been. They could condense it to 3 days with no problem, but they don't want to lose the 4th day of ticket sales.
Right.
These should be 3-day events. It should be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just have it in 3 days, and you'll make everybody much happier.
Yeah. And that's what I thought it used to be. I used to think it was 3 days. They had 6 matches planned for each day. If it goes long, it goes long. But we got this plan.
It goes long on the final day, which would be a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
You started an hour earlier on the last day or something, and But you gotta get the money.
And how would have that been today if they won a few matches and they made a decent comeback? You guys are going to
play. Team World lost what, 3 hill matches in a row?
Yeah.
Or 3 matches that went hill in a row they lost anyway. I mean,
to end the day, yeah.
There's no reason, that's just bad luck at some point,
right.
You should have been able to squeak 1 hill win, if not 2. And then all of a sudden you take 2. I mean, you're at 5-2 and it's a different ball game.
You got that.
I can honestly say the best match or best rack that match would probably have to be between Chua and FSR when they had that chess match. I mean, I was like, we're actually getting pool that we want to watch. We actually got to see the FSR that we wanted to see. It was a good chess match. I think it was on the 2 and the 3, they went back back and forth a couple times. That's the kind of pool that we tune in to watch. We make our day around. And unfortunately, we just didn't get that until today or yesterday.
Yeah, until everybody was going home.
Yep.
So we're at day 3. It's a complete skunk at this point. They start the day down. The rest of the world's down 7-0. Then we get the team match. They finally get on the board. They go hill. They win that 5-4 behind 2 racks from Sky Woodward. And now they're on the board and they're going completely crazy, jumping on the table.
I appreciated that. They knew they were dead in the water, so they finally won a rack, so they got on the table. I appreciated that. That's some good gallows humor.
Yeah, and then the tech team quickly runs over and they're checking the table to make sure it's level and all that. And I was like, man, this is going to be great. They score 1 point, they jump on the table, and it's ruined for the rest of the tournament.
That'd be awesome. Maybe that's what they were hoping. Maybe they tried to break the table. Hey, if we can't play, we can't play. Go down as incomplete.
Yeah. So at this point, it's 7-1. Team Rest of the World got their first point. I was really high on Sky at this point. I was like, okay, Sky came to play today. He looks really good in the team match. He's got a single match next against. Oop, that's embarrassing. He's got a singles match against Dong Kwok Hong next. Somebody who I think he matches up with very well. And then Sky gets blown off the table, and it's at this point it's like, man, any little momentum they gained just quickly got shut down. And I think that's the key from a solid coach and a solid team is they quickly spotted the areas where these guys were trying to move in, and they closed it down completely. So we had DQH beat Sky 5-1. And then we got a doubles match, Carlo Beato and Aloysius Yap, probably the 2 big guns on Team Asia against FSR and Moritz Neuhausen. And then we get a complete skunk in this one, 5-0. And now here it is, Team Asia going into day 4, 4th and final day, up 9-1. And is there any hope at this point? It's
no.
I think the only positive person in the building was when they were interviewing Efren Reyes, and he kept saying, "It's not over. It's not over." Maybe he was.
We got lucky. We got lucky.
Yeah. But he's just being the ambassador that he is, and good on him for saying that. But at that point, I don't know if I was on Team Asia, I'd have been like, "They're fucking done, baby."
I will hand it to Carlo. He did interact very well. It's like kind of like him and Jason kind of switched places. Yeah. Usually we get that from Jason, but then Carlo was interacting and engaging with the crowd and just pumping them up when he knew he's going to get a shot. Great sportsmanship, especially when there was no clock. He's even said, "Hey, there's no stop clock," but still shot within like the 30-second time frame and just kept on going. Good sportsmanship on him.
And then he went and bought Jollibees for everybody.
Oh
man. That's when you know you're dominating. When it's so in the bag, you just go and buy chicken.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's almost like you know how we've seen in the Mosconi Cups, Team Europe's dominating. Jason Shaw is the catalyst of that, and here we see, 2 years in a row now, Carlo Beato dominating and almost taking that role, almost like saying, okay, I've seen what it's like, for this guy in this situation. I'm the elder statesman here. I got to be that guy, and I think that's what he did to a T, and he did it perfectly. It's just goes to show like what Diana's saying. That's the champion that he is, and He knows he's got young guys on that team, and maybe there's some things that he can say that Bustamante can to get these guys in the right spot, and he did them all right. He did
100%.
Yeah.
His communication with AJ was above and beyond. Above and beyond. It was like he was. I can't give a reference right now, but his coaching with AJ was great sportsmanship.
Yeah. I think the tutelage that we've seen with Beato and Chua, they communicated very well. We seen Chua and DQH play together, and it was like these guys ain't on the same page at all, but they wound up winning.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was Chua Chua Manis, Beato Manis, it was like, wow, these guys together, like they really got them. He really's got this kid in a I don't want to say puppet type atmosphere, but just father figure type stuff. Or okay, let's get you here. Listen to me. I'll get you through it. This is a huge stage. A couple times we've seen him today when they were together, and he was like, yeah, take a swing at it. You got this. I was like, man, that's for a young fireball like that. I mean, that's great advice.
And respect to Manis, because he took all of it to heart. Like, he was very receptive of everything that was told to him, which for an 18-year-old kid who's getting propped up beyond all belief, to be able to be humble enough in that moment to go, you're right, I'm going to listen to you, and we're going to take what you say and we're going to do it. Especially as a pool player, because pool players don't like listening. We just don't.
No, we're all experts of our own universe.
Right. And that's because we all see the game in a different way, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
we all have different minds. So for him to be able to sit there and have the maturity to accept that, it's good for him. That's probably the most impressive thing about him for this tournament.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, you mentioned last week that the pendulum is either going to go one way or is going to go the other way, and it went really in the positive, good way. And I do gotta also mention he kept an eye on that clock like no tomorrow. It's like you could probably if he had to take a shot for every time he looked at the clock, he'd probably be wasted for a whole month.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he was the one player I seen physically looking over, like, let me make sure I don't want to blow any of this at all, visibly turning around and all that. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah, because I would imagine he hasn't played with the shot clock a whole lot.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, even in some of the tournaments that he's in, there's only a shot clock
on the big table
rounds. Yeah,
way deep. So he probably, in this environment or this kind of situation, he's probably never played with a shot clock before.
Right.
So that's really smart on his part to make sure that he is very aware of that.
Okay.
I can also say that every single player used their extensions very, very elegantly.
Yeah.
Yes, they were all used with purpose and timely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even the one that Jason Shaw took when they took that point today in the doubles match, backed off, took some water, waved to the crowd. So that's another good extension call. So we're at the fourth and final day. To start the day, it's very Jason Shaw heavy. He's the last bullet in the gun. Aloysius Yap, Jason Shaw, and it's the Aloysius Yap show. Kicks the holy crap out of Jason Shaw, 5-1. Second match, we have Yap and DQH. And they get beat by Jason Shaw and Sky Woodward. And now we have our second point. So it's they did the little pandering to the crowd and everything like that I was just talking about. And, so it's little bright spots for them that they took their opportunities to showboat a little bit, which which is okay. You know, you're taking a beat, and you might as well get a little bit of enjoyment out of it at this point. Then we got the solo match. You know, originally planned, it was supposed to be all single matches for the final day, but because they cut day 2 and 3 short, they stuck a doubles match in there. So the third match here is where we get our third and final point. Or I'm saying where Team Rest of the World gets their third and final point. FSR beats Yoham Chua 5-3. And then we're at the last match, which is AJ Manis and Carlo Beato, two opposite ends of the expression. One's a mature champion, and the other one's an up and coming fireballer. And they take on kind of the Rest of the World's version of that same pairing. You know, you got Fedor Gorst, and you got the newcomer on the scene, Moritz Neuhausen. And they kick the crap out of them to end this whole thing. 11-3. So Team Asia over Team Rest of World 11-3. Concluding the Reyes Cup. And now we get to the MVP.
Was it ever a question?
Yeah, none other than AJ Manis.
And I think it's deserved. I mean, you can give it to Beato or AJ, but I think it's deserved. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't help but think that if this kid stood upright through the whole tournament, he was going to win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I agree with that.
And soon as he beat Fedor, I was like, man, this is in the bag for this kid. They're going to propel him to the rafters at this point. And here's a question I got for both of you guys. It's a question I was asking on my stories. So you have AJ Manis. Was he 66th ranked? Pretty much at this point, he's just really like a pool player, a young up and coming pool player who dominates on social media. On the other hand of that coin, we got guys like Robbie Capito, Jeffrey Rhoda, guys in their mid-20s who've won big events, worked their balls off all year to get in place for a tournament like this. And here they are, not even included, not even talked about. You know, AJ Manis was one of the first 2 people selected. You know, do you feel like guys like Robbie Capito and Jeffrey Rhoda got passed over at this point?
Yeah, for sure. On a merit-based system, 100%.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And that's always been something that with the Mosconi and now with the Reyes, hey, if you win and you make money and you get in the top 10, top 15, you're a shoo-in for these events. And here we see, you know, a guy who is not in that conversation at all. Not even, I don't even know how many events he's been on. You know,
I don't think he's played too many because I don't think he's been able to go. From what I understand, he's had a lot of visa and passport issues.
Right.
Which unfortunately happens with a lot of people from the Philippines. For whatever reason, they have issues getting out of the country.
You know, this is kind of the similar thing, but a guy I think very highly of is Vitaly Patsura.
Mm-hmm.
He's Ukrainian. He's living in Chicago now. His travel's limited. Like he can only go around in the country on his visa.
Yeah, he's going basically the same route that Federer did, then I imagine.
Yeah, right. So so he could perhaps be limited as far as travel is concerned. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like look, I'm a big Robbie Capito fan. I want him to make that team. I've talked to him a bunch. I know that's something he very much wants.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help but feel like, you know, these guys got passed over in a sense like this.
I think you get your wish next year. Because I think your format is what they go to next year. I think they switch it to Philippines versus Asia. I just think it's what they're going to do.
Yeah, because we've had, you know, 2 Reyes Cups now. You know,
2 horrible showings.
Yeah, I think the first one was a little bit more crowded than this one, but still, it's where's the people at?
Well, and
You
the
know,
other
there's
thing is, I think it's a lot more crowded than we realize.
yeah,
They have I don't know, understand how they pick this venue. How do you pick a 6,000 person basketball arena to put a single pool table in? It's never going to look good. It's going to be terrible.
right.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You need a 2,000 person venue or a 1,500 person venue.
Yeah,
And if
because
you have 2,200 people that want to show up and you only have 2,000 tickets, fine. It looks good on camera,
yeah,
and you can build it for the next year and the next year and the next year. You can't just drop it in some massive thing, put 1,200 people there, or 800 or 1,000 or however many it is. It's going to look terrible, and especially when the seats are 40, 50, 60 feet back from the pool table.
I can't help but feel like how bad it was, how bad it looked. These guys are coming out and they're walking by empty seats. There's fireworks going off and they're just
And they
walking
don't,
by empty seats.
yeah, because where they're walking out, you can't even sit anybody there because you couldn't see the pool table if you were sitting there. So it's just terrible. This is where having a good, competent CEO comes in.
Yeah. One who's not worried about taking selfies.
Yeah. But have the stupid thing in the mall you're having the Philippine Open in. Like, because they've had the Moscone Cup in a similar setting to that, in a mall type venue before, way back in the day. I don't know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, this was something a bunch of Filipino guys were writing me and say, "Oh, you don't know how it is there," and I was like, "Man, it's 6,000 seats. I think we could all visualize, what it looks like with 6,000 seats filled up. Even if half of it looked filled up, that's 2,000-3,000 people. It's
But you're
not
not
like
going to.
right. It's not like it's the Philippine arena with 60,000 seats. It's a smaller arena, but still, I think it would be better for them to have the smaller thing like you recommended, and maybe have to turn people away because it gets filled up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've seen from this year and last year that I don't know, maybe it's this time of year it's just not going to be filled up.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not into this thing like we've all expected.
Well, and everybody said that Filipinos during the week, they do not go out and do things. They just don't.
Right.
I don't know if I buy that necessarily. Like, I
Yeah.
can see that being for the majority. Like, you're not going to make a special weekend, weeknight plans if there's something big going on. I don't buy that, but that's what everybody said. So,
yeah, I don't know what their
I don't agree with that either, because if you're a pool fan, like an NHL fan, you're going to go watch, you're going to go support your country, and I just, yeah. And also, the arena did not look good. There's just a lot of things in the way of the fans. It's just there was poles everywhere and just lighting things everywhere, and I'm just like, wow, I'd hate to be sat behind that and try and take a picture or try and see like the winning shot.
mm-hmm.
And have that table space that they had around the table, the playing table, and then you have. It didn't look right. It was very tight. If you have like that small of a playing space and that big of arena, no, the proportions are all off. You're making it look like a Mickey Mouse event by then.
I think we've had the Moscone Cup for so many years, 30 plus years, and every one of them, minus the first couple aside, has been a spectacle, a spectacle for pool. These are models that they have to work on. This is a gift given to you. This is the formula that you have to make this show a success, and I just don't think they care at this point.
Well, and it's not that. I just don't know if it can be a success. Maybe Philippines versus Asia can be a success. But that being said, if we go look at golf, we've got the Ryder Cup. Nobody's ever tried to introduce a Ryder Cup version with any Asian country, or Canada and Mexico, or anybody else. Like, it just doesn't exist. It's USA and Europe. Like, that's what we get down on. And there's a reason they haven't tried to expand it. Saudis haven't sunk any money and said, hey, let's have some other idea out here and do it another way. Because people just wouldn't show up because people don't care. USA and Europe, we have a fun, friendly, sometimes non-friendly rivalry. It works.
Diane, I'll start with you on this question. Having seen what we've seen this week, poor crowd, poor sportsmanship from the losing team, and kind of like that not showing up and not giving a fuck attitude some of them had. Do you think that puts a little stink on the Mosconi Cup coming up, or you think it'll be all right because it's a standalone event that's got a history behind it?
Yes and no, because we might assume that the players chosen are going to transfer that over, but we're also kind of hoping that they don't. But we also assume that they won't because they're getting paid more money. Bottom line, they are getting paid more money. We know that the Reyes Cup, they pay a lot less.
Yep.
And I think we've developed the Mosconi Cup into much more of a patriotic thing, and then a I won type of thing, or I got chosen type of thing. Because so far, Reyes Cup is, yay, I got chosen. Mosconi Cup is like, yes, I'm going to go defend my country and represent my country. Reyes Cup is just not there yet. We do have high hopes for the Reyes Cup. We want it there, and since it's technically the same, it is the same company putting it on. We do have high expectations for them, and right now they're lacking. But I think they do have a lot of room for improvement. Hopefully sooner than later, or we're just not going to be interested in the Reyes Cup, even though as much as we all love Reyes, Efren Reyes, the player. But I think it needs to be marketed a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? It just needs to be marketed differently. It needs to be marketed to where the other team other than Asia actually has a winning chance, other than what it's at right now.
Yeah, because we always thought the plan was that whoever won the Mosconi would be the opponent for Asia in the Reyes Cup, and thank God it's never been USA, because it would. I don't think they would have even come close to standing a chance.
I disagree. I think if we would have just put this year's or last year's USA Mosconi Cup team out there, red, white, and blue, I think they would have. I'm not going to say they would have won, but it would have been a much more respectable showing.
Yeah.
Because Team Asia did not play lights out. They did not just go out there and dominate and break and run. They had a ton of errors, and Team World just decided, we don't care about capitalizing on them.
Yeah, that was one thing I commented on was AJ Manis. He was missing a lot of balls. He played far from he played good, better than expected, but he played far from perfect. And at one point, I was just talking shit on my stories, just having fun. And I put, at this point, I would bet Savannah dog walks this kid in a race to 10. And I don't know. I think I would still stand by it at this point.
It might be a good close match.
Yeah. It's a match I would love to see. I think she's at her age. I think she's been in brighter lights, tougher rooms than this kid. And I don't know. It's regardless whether she can beat him or he kicks the crap out of her, I'm glad to see that Pool has a future.
Yes.
Because 20, 30, 40 years ago, when I was, get into Pool, it's like, okay, Pool's, it's mapped out. Like there's up and comers, we got old guys, everything was mapped out. Like you seen a future. And then the last few years, it's like, okay, what's on the horizon? Is anybody on the horizon? federations. Obviously, I'm not around like the German and Asian federations. I can't see who's in the pipeline, but like we knew these guys are in the pipeline. Like we knew Fader as a youth, Vitaly Patsur as a youth. Josh Filler was a killer at 12, 13. We seen him on tape as a youth.
That's my issue with how they're propping up Madison. I know why they're propping him up, but they're saying he's one of the brightest talents and possibly the best young player they've ever seen. I'm like, 15-year-old Josh Filler would have beat the crap out of this kid. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Like you can't just discount that stuff. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous.
That's a tall statement to make, saying that he's no, because if you I can't agree with that, saying that he's the best pool player at his age and has ever been at his age. I can see why they're doing it, to try and get in the younger crowd, to market to the younger crowd. Yay for them, great. Yes, we want more people to see pool, but you should not market it just a little bit different than that, and not kick the rest of the other pool players in the teeth and saying something like that.
All right, so I got a couple questions for you, each of you guys, and then we'll wrap up this wrap up. First off, highlight of the Reyes Cup, and I'll start with you, Jeff. What was your highlight of the Reyes Cup? Could be anything, just personal highlight.
Sky's walkout on day 3, I think. Was it day 2, day 3? I don't remember.
Before the DQH match?
Yeah.
Day 3, yeah.
Yeah, or whichever match he. Yeah, but I think before DQH, yeah, that was it. That was about the most fun I had. Or Sky eating chicken wings in the crowd. I mean, whichever. I mean, but it's not really pool related because there just wasn't a whole lot of pure highlight reel stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Diana? Highlight?
I'm gonna have to say if we're gonna go with my favorite shot or something like that, the Merchants 4-9 side pocket shot, that was pretty sweet. I did like that. I rewinded that a few times. I was like, whoa, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to. Nuts. And another one. Yeah, pretty much that one. That was probably my favorite. Yeah, that's probably the one I rewinded like a few times.
Yeah. I think a lot of us look at DQH as a chump, or maybe somebody who didn't really deserve to be there. But I think he played fantastic. They all played They missed a lot of balls. They all played fantastic. But I thought he was very solid, very serviceable, and he played his guts out. And there was quite a bit of Vietnamese people in the crowd, which he's their hero. So that's good to see. Diana, I'm going to start with you. What is your low light of the Reyes Cup? What was something you thought was like, man, this just sucks?
Probably, okay, I'm just call him out, Carl, like him smacking around like team rest of the world, like, dude, like, we know, like, you as a commentator, you should be a little bit impartial, but if you're just going to throw that much shade against one team, and yeah, that was probably the part I didn't like the most.
Taking advantage because you got some friends on the team.
Yeah.
Jeff, what about you? Low light.
Rest of the world's lineup. I mean, it just wasn't it. Like, you can't just do it and leave off the best players, and it just puts a whole kind of a black shadow. It just makes the whole thing very not enjoyable when you know that it's just random people thrown out there, basically.
Yeah. That would be mine, and I think some of the people I've heard on other shows, um, Darren Appleton, Johan, on Mike's show, I think it'd be the same thing. It's how do you have a best in the world, rest of the world, best in the world? How do you have that without Josh Filler, without Shane Van Boning, without Eklund Kachi, without Albin Ocean? I just these are things I just don't get. At this point, it's like we've been shown that this is the Emily Fraser Olympics, and if you're a special name in her orbit, then you can write your own ticket as far as these events are concerned. We'll make you captain. We'll give you a double check. Obviously, guys like Albin and Josh Filler, they however it's described to them, they're put on the outs because they made certain choices about their travel and their year and how they want to route their things. But still, they're up there in rankings. We're led to believe this is a merit-based system with wins and points and money. And for these guys who are very clearly above a lot of the guys who are chosen, I mean, look at the year FSR's had. Look at the year Jason Shaw's had. They're not winning. I mean, Sky is, granted, he's had a tough year with his back and getting married. That took some time to put together.
Sky is not a full-time pool player. Like, it's just a fact. Sky is no longer a full-time pool player.
Yeah, I mean, he had a decent run at the Perry, and he got into or him and Billy had a good run at the Perry, but I think we see all the guys in that team besides Fader. I don't think they've had a year to brag about by any means.
Moritz is the only player that's been close on that because he's up there.
Yeah.
I can also say that we've seen more action from John Moore than we've seen from Jason Shaw all year.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Moritz, I'm kind of comparing him at this point with Mickey Krause of last year. Mickey Krause won some things, had some good finishes. They put him on a pedestal. Hey, Mickey Krause, you're going to be in the Reyes Cup. Oh, by the way, you're going to be in the Mosconi Cup also. You're the first selection. And here we see Moritz. Hey, Moritz, you're in the Reyes Cup and you're in the Mosconi Cup. You don't have to worry about that for the rest of the year. Mickey Krause really didn't have the greatest of years this year. Do we kind of see that on the horizon for Moritz? Do you think maybe it's too much too soon? Maybe you should let him prove himself a little bit more?
Well, he's got a World Cup of Pool Championship under his belt as well already, correct?
Yeah, him and Josh. Yeah.
Him and Josh, yeah. And he's German. So I think the German players as a general whole tend to be a little bit more linear with their play. I don't think there's a whole lot of swinginess to it.
Right.
I think they typically stand on a pretty solid trajectory, just the way they're built and the way they practice and their mindsets about everything. So I think I don't think we'll see him jump up and be huge and go above and beyond and be great, but he's going to steadily increase and steadily be a solid pool player.
See the same, Diana?
I agree. We're gonna be watching him for a while. I think
he's only 21. Yeah, he's definitely got a while left.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's approaching this as a long-term profession and not a short-term profession. I think he's taking tips from Shane and Federer and kind of combining the two, because Federer is definitely approaching this as a corporate, well, not corporation, as a, what's the word I'm looking for? But like Federer's approaching it like as I'm going to make money off this, but I'm going to enjoy playing pool at the same time. Yeah. As in when we saw Shane coming up, he was learning as he was going along. He was learning from his shots, and I think we're going to see a combination of those two players put into Moritz.
Yeah. I think Moritz I think he would be greatly benefited by having Josh Filler present. Because just like we seen with AJ and Beato and AJ and Chua, just having somebody that speaks your language is worth its weight in gold.
Big
having
difference.
a guy who's been there and done it and succeeded in it. I can't answer this question for Moritz, but I think if he had to choose to be like one person, it would be Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And having him there, if he's already going to be in it, and he's already selected the Mosconi Cup, having somebody like Josh there as a mentor and a potential doubles teammate and somebody who can just get in his head, I think that would be key and beneficial for Moritz if he's the person that you're going to start running out there like that.
It'll be very bad for Team USA.
Yeah.
Very bad.
My last question that I'll ask you guys, MVP. Actually, I actually two more questions. Who's your MVP for Team Asia? And who's your MVP for the rest of the world team? And I'll start with you, Jeff.
It'd be AJ for Asia. He was one of the few players that broke and ran a rack this weekend. There was very few break and runs. He was able to get it done. And, for a kid being his young age and going out there and performing as well as he did, good for him. And, that's it. For Team USA, it's Federer.
Yeah.
He's the only, maybe you could say it was Sky, but I think you just got to give it to Federer. He played better than everybody else, and he actually genuinely looked like he cared and wanted to win and was trying his hardest.
What about you, Diana? Same?
I agree with Jeff. AJ definitely deserved that. His interactions and reception and just taking it all in and listening and just not being, he's being very humble about the whole event, which is very good. And he took it in very well. So he was playing okay most of the time. He pulled off some nice shots. And agree with, Federer was probably the only one that even cared. You can see it when he went to go coach Sky, like, hey, if we do this, we might actually have a chance to win.
Yeah. There was a lot of team conferencing going on with Team Rest of the World. It's like how many 800 Fargos does it take to make a shot?
Ooh, you can't have that. You can't have that many opinions.
Yeah, it's like where's the coach at this point?
Yeah,
is he hanging out in back? My last question before we end this wrap up: least valuable player for Team Asia and Team Rest of World, and I'll start with you, Diana.
Least valuable player for Rest of the World was FSR. We just didn't see the FSR that we're used to seeing, and I was just like, oh, okay, we know why you're there now. I think his spirits picked up when Katie was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And for Team Asia, I know this just because he is really quiet, but Yap he could have been a little bit more team oriented, but I just know he's a really quiet gentleman.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff?
Listen, I agree with the team. I agree with the Rest of the World 100%. It's FSR. But for Team Asia, I don't know. I can't just. I have a hard time picking somebody. Like I just.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I don't. They all played well enough. There was nobody that just did anything blundersome to go, oh my gosh, why'd you do that?
My MVP for Asia would be Carlo Beato. My MVP for Rest of the World would be Sky. Just contributing the points they did win. He was a major contribution to those. My least valuable player for Rest of the World is FSR. I don't think that's a shocker. He didn't really find his stroke until we're 4 days into it,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point, it's probably pure fucking stroke. Um, and then for my least valuable player of Asia, it's once again, it's how can you pick a least valuable player for a team that dominates? But I would probably say Chua in that aspect, just because I don't think he took a single point by himself.
By himself, yeah.
So yeah, if I had to pick one out of there, it would be him. So yeah, so that concludes our Reyes Cup wrap up. I think overall, anytime we have a huge eye on pool like this, I think it's awesome for the sport. Look, whether there's nobody there or whether one team plays shittier than the next, I think any type of publicity for pool is good publicity because I don't know. I feel like 20, 30 years ago, like pool was in such a much better place. They had the camel tour and we seen into the future of we knew the sport was going to be in good hands, and now it's like there's so many question marks here and there. Two big factions of pool promotions were warring with each other. Who knows what's still going on behind the scenes, but it's like, man, this thing is about these players and playing the game and just having something provided for them as far as matches, for them to do. I don't know. I think it's just more politics in pool now than there's ever been before. And I don't know. We lost Diana.
Yep. Well,
she couldn't hold out to the end. Anyway, we're almost done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I like that there's an eye on pool. Anytime pool is on, I mean, it's a good day for me. But here she's back.
All right.
She's back for the closeout.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right.
It froze on me, so I was just like, okay.
That's all right. We're wrapping up. Yeah. So anyway, look, I hope they come up with a new look. It tells me that they're trying. From Team Europe to Team Rest of the World, let's throw shit at the wall and we'll see what sticks. So in that aspect, I'll take it. If the Reyes Cup started tomorrow and they had the 10 worst pool players money could buy, I would still watch it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we all have in common is that we're just ravenous about pool. Look, I got so many subscriptions on my YouTube of local Texas pool halls, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I love it. I'll watch it no matter what. I just wish there was more. I don't know. Less. I just wish there was less politics involved, and I wish I didn't have so much to say about Emily and the job she's doing, because look,
they are succeeding in spite of themselves, and that tells you what kind of market. Barry Hearn's right. There is a big market for pool because their success proves it. Because if you can do things so poorly and succeed, you've got a market there. You should be able to conquer it.
So that what do you got to say, Diana?
As I previously said, I have a love-hate relationship for Emily. I love that what she's doing as a female in the sports industry, but I wish she'd be a little bit more about it. But if it sends a positive and negative message to the other females in the sports industry.
Yeah, it does. Like this is what regardless of how she got there and whose father and family friend put her in that place, she's there. She's got the ball. She's running with it. So let's hope that she has a good surrounding team around her, and they keep progressing and going forward, and we see some good pool in the future, and none of these laughers and bad things happening, warring entities and all that stuff. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. Just like AJ Manis, it remains to be seen.
Well, he's got a few days to show us what he's got now.
Yeah.
Because if he can come out here in the Philippine Open and go rounds, well, maybe he'll show us something.
Yeah. We'll see once you get in a race to 10 and you got to work for that money. And when it's a race to 5, I don't think people realize that a race to 10 and a race to 5, that's a total different world.
You have 800 Fargos in a race to 5. To flip a coin, it does like you really are just flipping coins, and sometimes people just one off little shot and it's over. It's such a hard thing.
Yeah, and I can say this, and I think Diana will back it up. I watched a lot of John Mora footage, and he doesn't get started until he's down 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. Once he starts getting into those matches where it's like race to 11 and then you have to go to a shootout, that marathon and that stamina is a whole different ball game, and we haven't seen that from him yet. And yes, he's young, and yes, he's eager, and yes, he's got the will to do it. But when it comes to crunch time, when you have to shoot those balls and you know that there's so many eyes on you and you're shooting, it's like into like the third shootout. What are we going to see from him?
He shot a ball. It was on the first day. I can't remember if it was in the team match or the match against Fedor. He shot the 4 ball in, and he just absolutely smoked it in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's one of those ones that hits the back of the pocket, and it's like hearing a swish in basketball. It was just a clean sound, and he smoked it in. I was like, man, wow, that's a high level shot at this point early in the game from somebody who's just a virtually unknown for all of us. So yeah, that was good to see. But I want to take this minute to thank the both of you for being here and coming back to not only doing the Reyes Cup preview show, but the Reyes Cup wrap up. Just want to give you guys a
yeah. Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. It was fun.
It was definitely a fun week.
I really didn't know what to think. I know you guys each individually, we chat here and there and all that, but I didn't think I didn't know how we were all going to vibe together. We had a great first show, and then even in the group chat, throughout the course of the Reyes Cup, like we were all just chiming in there, and it was like, man, we all got a good vibe together, and it was good to see, and I enjoy that. Thank you very much for putting the effort into both of these shows. I appreciate it so much from you guys. I hope we can do more stuff like this in the future if you guys are down for that stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm always doing shows.
I always love talking pool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's and especially with people who can give it back, and you guys are definitely two of those people. It's not like somebody just asking me a random question and I give you an answer. Like you guys have takes and opinions and you put effort into this, and I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, we can definitely do this again for the Mosconi. Yeah, I definitely enjoy chatting with you guys.
Jeff, you're going to Mosconi, right?
I've got tickets. I've got airline reservations. I've got a hotel reservation. We'll see if I go. I have not committed to it. I've actually made other plans on top of it now. I'm just not certain that I want to deal with going to London again. There's several things involved in it, but
what do you got to fly into Heathrow?
Yeah,
and that's a huge airport.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's an odd design of an airport in my opinion, but it doesn't seem big to me. I mean, all your gates it's different than American airports. All your gates are off by themselves, and then there's like one area with the food concourse in it, but there's nothing once you leave that area and you go towards your gates. There's no other shops, there's no other bars, there's nothing. It's just gates.
Yeah, I always heard it was huge and busy, but not to the point like O'Hare is.
Yeah, no, last time I was there and I flew out, I got through security in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I was like just dumbfounded by it.
Security in 5 minutes. That's I can honestly say I have never no. No. But our security up here in Canada is a little bit tighter, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, my local airport is in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's the closest one here, and that's 2 gates. It's the baggage check, the TSA, and the ticketing. They're all the same person.
Yep, that's about the way it was when I left Atlantic City. They had to open security to let me through. I mean,
yeah, that would definitely not happen here. Closest one, well, Kamloops does have airport, but it's pretty small. Next biggest one would be Vancouver, but I much prefer Calgary Airport. Vancouver Airport is just I'll avoid that one at all costs.
Well, guys, let's that concludes our Reyes Cup wrap up. I think overall, look, it's a solid week of pool. It gave us a lot of talking points and a lot to look forward to. Please reach out to my friends here. If you like what they do, let them know that they did a great job. In the comments, tap in below, please. I hope you guys all feel the same way that I did. I think they did a great job. You know, you could throw down in the comments that we did a good job and that you want to see this trio again. I am the Gangster of Pool. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and most importantly, YouTube is where this show will be played. Guys, once again, thank you very much. We'll see you all again very soon.
Sounds like good. You have a good one.
Take care.